I'm in bed, ready to go to sleep, after watching hours of YouTube videos. I have school early in the morning the next day, and I'm scared of being tired all day. So I decide it's time to go to sleep. I put my phone away and I close my eyes. And thoughts start coming in. Wow, I really don't want to go to school tomorrow. Last weekend was so fun. I wonder why that girl never replied to me. Half an hour passes, 1 hour passes, 2 hours. I look at my phone and I get worried. There's only 5 hours left until my alarm goes off. So I carry on trying to go to sleep, but my mind keeps wandering. It's like I'm having intense daydreams as I'm trying to fall asleep. I remember when I was little, I used to get so frustrated trying to go to sleep, I would basically go cry to my mother. And when I woke up, I would sleepwalk my way through the house, getting ready for school and forgetting everything on the way. I couldn't pay attention in school because I was too tired. I would just distract myself talking with my friends. And my friends would always say I looked like I was stoned because my eyes were so red and swollen. Now, I get 8 hours of good quality sleep every night. No bags under my eyes. But more importantly, I feel energetic in the morning, and I don't daydream. I am 20 times more productive and mindful than I ever have been. I don't even know how I used to operate being so sleep deprived. You are sleep deprived. Matter of fact, most people are sleep deprived. And this doesn't surprise me. I have friends that fall asleep every night with their phone in their hand, or their earphones in their ears. This might be you. And then you wonder why you can't get any work done? You will not believe how much greener the grass is on the other side, and how much more productive and energetic you can be by getting good quality sleep. And in this guide, I'm going to teach you not only how not to be sleep deprived, but how to get the most out of your sleep to operate at the highest level. All you have to do is watch this guide fully with no distractions, and take action on the things I say. Chapter 1. Setting a schedule. One of the most important tools for sleep is a consistent schedule. Matter of fact, without this, nearly none of the other tips are going to do anything. I want you to write down a time that you can wake up at every single day for the next year. It's not about waking up really early to feel productive. It's about being able to follow it consistently. After that, I want you to count back about 9 or 10 hours from that wake up time, and that will be your bedtime. You might be thinking, oh, I don't need 9 or 10 hours of sleep. But that isn't time of sleep, that's time in bed. And a normal sleep efficiency is only about 80%. So that means if you're in bed for 10 hours, you will most likely only sleep for 8 hours out of those 10. Right now, you might be thinking of the weekends and sleeping in. Of course, everybody wants to have a social life, that's up to you. The most important thing to follow is to not sleep in. If you go out one night until 2 in the morning, you might be thinking about turning off your alarm and just letting yourself sleep in. But that is not the best idea, because you're just messing up your schedule even more. It is better to be sleep deprived for one day than to mess up your schedule. So I would not sleep in more than 1 hour. If you have a late night, sure enough, you can sleep in an hour more. But in the long run, it will be better to not sleep in more than an hour. At the end of this video, there's more tips for days like this. Chapter 2. Day and night cycles. Every day is broken into 2 cycles, the day cycle and the night cycle. And each cycle is based on certain behaviors to influence your circadian rhythm or certain hormones. First, let me explain the circadian rhythm. You have probably already heard of it, but it's basically our internal clock that tells us when to feel tired, when to feel awake, and when to feel hungry. Every single animal has it. And it does this based on certain inputs that it gets from your behaviors. So the day cycle, the second you wake up, is all about promoting wakefulness and energy. The night cycle starts somewhere in the evening, and it's all about promoting sleepiness. So now I'm going to go into detail about what to do in each one of these cycles to promote the best sleep possible. Chapter 2. The day cycle, aka the morning. Most people don't understand the correlation between your morning habits and sleep. Let me explain. Since the moment you wake up, your internal clock is ticking and it starts to release a hormone named adenosine. The name doesn't really matter. But basically, the more you're awake, the more your body releases that hormone, and it will make you feel more and more tired. And since the moment you wake up, it also starts a countdown to release another hormone that will also make you feel sleepy about 12 or 13 hours after waking up. This is just an example of how the morning affects your sleep, but there's many other examples of it. So it is important to make your body know you are awake, so to say. So how do you make your body know that you're awake? Chapter 2.1. How to promote wakefulness in the morning. So the main tools we are going to be using are light, darkness, and temperature. And there's also other secondary tools. When you wake up, there's 2 things that happen. Your body temperature rises, that's normally the reason why you wake up, and you view sunlight, or some kind of light. These are the exact behaviors we want to magnify in the morning. Let's start with light. Which is the brightest source of light you have in the morning? The sun. The sun is about 100 times brighter than any other artificial light you have in your house, even on cloudy days. So you definitely want to get some sunlight in your eyes about 30 minutes to an hour after waking up. I don't care how you do this. You can take a walk facing the sun, facing eastwards, or you can just sit in your garden looking at the sun. What is important is viewing it for about 5 minutes if it's a clear day. If it's a bit cloudy, 10 to 15 minutes, and if it's very dark outside, maybe 20 to half an hour even. Two important warnings: don't try to do this with sunglasses because it defeats the purpose, and don't try to do this from a window because not enough light comes through and it's just not as efficient. You can do this with normal reading glasses or lenses. A problem a lot of people have is they wake up before sunrise. If this doesn't affect you, skip to the minute you see on the screen. If you wake up before the sun is out, there's a couple things you can do. First of all, whenever the sun does come out, you go outside and view it. But meanwhile, while you're awake, you need to view bright artificial lights. There are some very expensive lights you can buy that mimic the sun. I'll leave a link in the description. But there's also a cheaper alternative that are ring lights, you know, the ones TikTokers use. I'll leave a link in the description for those too. So you probably want to view these as soon as you wake up for about 5 to 10 minutes. And whenever the sun does come out, you go outside and you view it. This is how you use light in the morning to promote wakefulness. Now let's talk about temperature. So in the morning, basically what you want to do is raise your body temperature as much as you can. You can do this through cold showers, eating food, or exercise. Exercise. Any type of exercise will help. You can do whatever you want. You can do push-ups as soon as you wake up. You can do jumping jacks while you're viewing the sun. Or you can do your full-blown workout first thing in the morning. This is definitely down to personal preference, because if I worked out first thing in the morning, I would feel tired and I would find it hard to concentrate. But that doesn't happen to other people. If you do go out on a run, for example, I would recommend shorter runs because or else you're also going to feel fatigued after the run. It's all about feeling energetic after whatever you do. So you could do some jumping jacks or some sprints, whatever you like. Cold showers. You might be thinking this makes no sense. If I wanted to warm up my body temperature, why would I have a cold shower and not a hot one? Well, in a nutshell, basically when you get into a cold shower or an ice bath, your body warms up to protect itself from the cold, and vice versa with a hot shower. So I would recommend getting in a cold shower for about 1 to 5 minutes, or an ice bath if you want. I wouldn't go past 10 minutes on an ice bath because then your body temperature will start to drop. Food. Whenever you eat food, your body temperature rises. This doesn't mean you have to eat food as soon as you wake up. I prefer to do intermittent fasting because it helps me concentrate better and stuff. If you do that, that's fine. And if you do decide to have breakfast, I wouldn't eat a very big meal because this might give you some fatigue, and if carbs give you brain fog, I would also avoid those. But this really is also down to personal preference. All you need to know is food raises your body temperature. Honorable mention, caffeine. Caffeine obviously raises your body temperature and makes you feel energetic, so it is a perfect tool to use in the morning. The only thing you need to be careful with is having it about 90 minutes to 2 hours after waking up, to avoid the afternoon crash. So if you're used to having it first thing in the morning after waking up and you want to start having it a bit later to avoid that afternoon crash, you could start delaying it every day by 2 minutes. This would be a very easy way to delay your caffeine intake. Obviously, if you don't want to do this, that's fine. You don't have to follow each step, but I'm just telling you how the perfect day would be. And this would definitely help you avoid the afternoon crash, which can also be caused by mainly food and maybe too much exercise. If you're interested in the food topic, I'm probably going to do a full guide on that one day. Subscribe to see that. So after knowing all this, I'm going to give you the perfect schedule of a morning routine for perfect sleep. You wake up, you go outside and view sunlight for about 5 minutes if the skies are clear, and more if the skies are cloudy. While viewing sunlight or after, do some exercise like jumping jacks, sprints, or go on a run or workout. Any exercise. After exercise or before, you do 1 to 5 minutes of a cold shower or an ice bath. After or before the cold shower, you eat breakfast. As I said before, if you want to fast, that's fine. And then after 90 minutes of being awake, you have a cup of coffee or tea. You can play around with this schedule. You can change the order of things, you can do half of the things. The most important one is the viewing sunlight, and I would also recommend to do one of the raising temperature tools. Again, it's not necessary to do every single thing if you don't want to. Chapter 3. The night cycle, aka the evening. So we know what your body wants in the morning and how to get there. Now all we have to do is apply the opposite logic to the evening, which is all about achieving sleepiness, through lowering your body temperature and viewing darkness or not viewing light. The same way you view sunrise in the morning or just sunlight, it will be ideal to view the sunset in the evening. This will help warn your body to start releasing some sleepy hormones and also warn it that it's getting dark. After viewing the sunset, it would be ideal to live in pitch black, but obviously this isn't practical. So you could use candles to give you some light because they're actually extremely low intensity, so this would barely affect your sleep. And dimmed lights below eye level would be ideal because there's something about how the eye works. If the light is above eye level, it's like the sun at daytime, so it produces your body to wake up more. But if it's below eye level, it won't have this effect as much. The worst type of lights are the type of lights that are in supermarkets because they're extremely bright overhead lights. And I'm sure you could see how your body could confuse that with it being daytime outside. So basically use dimmed lights below eye level on a desk or on the floor and candles after viewing sunset. Also avoid viewing screens after sunset as much as you can. If you are going to use screens, I would put the night shift mode on, even though I don't think that actually does that much, and put the brightness down to the minimum. For example, I use a Kindle to read before going to sleep, and I put the brightness down to the minimum, and sometimes I wear sunglasses, even though I'm not sure if that actually does anything. You could buy some blue light blockers that help a bit with viewing screens later at night. I'll leave the link in the description, but I don't personally use those, but you might find them helpful. Temperature. If we know that exercise raises our body temperature, and to sleep we need to lower our body temperature, avoid exercise about 3 hours before going to bed. Don't get me wrong, it's really important to do exercise, especially really vigorous, intense exercise, because the more energy you expend, the more your body needs to recover that energy by sleeping. I'm sure you've noticed that the days the best sleep you get is because either you missed out on sleep the day before or because you did loads of exercise or work that day. If you don't create a peak in activity and a peak in your heart rate and body temperature, your body won't create a dip in recovery and a dip in heart rate and temperature, which is what you need to get perfect sleep. You need to deserve your rest. Food. Food raises body temperature, so it would be ideal to avoid food before going to bed. This depends a lot on the person. I would recommend you experiment for yourself. I find that if I don't eat food about 5 hours before going to bed, I will have the best sleep. But if you can't fall asleep because you're hungry, you could try eating a bit later. On the other hand, some people fall asleep way better when they are hungry. Hot showers. Hot showers are ideal for lowering your body temperature. They don't have to be boiling hot, they can just be a normal warm shower. You can also use a sauna if you want to, but I wouldn't stay in there too long because or else you can also use a sauna if you want to, but I wouldn't stay in there too long or else it will have the opposite effect of raising your body temperature. I wouldn't go past 10 minutes in the sauna. And I would definitely avoid cold showers and ice baths before bed. The last thing you want before going to sleep is raising your body temperature and getting really high levels of adrenaline. But either way, I would definitely want to avoid food, especially big meals, about 3 hours before bed. Caffeine. Caffeine stays in our system for a very, very long time. It would be ideal to have your last cup of coffee about 10 to 12 hours before bed. Even if you think you're immune to caffeine and you can sleep fine after a cup of coffee, you might feel that way, but your body knows the difference. The architecture of your sleep isn't as good as it could be without the caffeine, and in the long run you would notice it. And remember, normal tea and chocolate also contain caffeine, even though chocolate not as much. So this is our evening routine for now. 10 to 12 hours before bed, you have your last cup of coffee. You exercise around midday or a maximum of 3 hours before bed. The smallish dinner, latest around 3 hours before bed. You view the sunset and avoid bright overhead lights after viewing it, maybe using candles or dimmed bedside table lamps. And when you're in bed, you can read, meditate, or whatever helps you fall asleep quickly. Chapter 4. Mindset, Naps, and Extras. After hearing all of this, you might feel a sense of urgency and stress to get good sleep, but this is the worst thing you can have. Because if you get into bed and you don't fall asleep immediately, you might start stressing out about how much sleep you're going to get that night. And that's the worst thing you can do, because the more you stress about it, the longer you will take to fall asleep. There is a mindset that really helps me with this, and that is just thinking that being in your bedroom, lying down with your eyes closed, gives you the same benefits as actually sleeping. This will help you relax, and also it's good to think to yourself that not getting perfect sleep for one night is not going to affect your life in the long term. If you do have trouble falling asleep, there's many things you can try, like reading. I find reading is the best for me. I lie down in bed and I read my e-reader on the lowest brightness, and that helps me fall asleep quicker. If you want to read a physical book, you could buy one of those lights that points at the book for you to see it, or you could just turn on your bedside table lamp. Other people like meditating and journaling your thoughts down to get rid of any stress before you go to sleep. And breathing techniques. You can look up breathing techniques for relaxing or falling asleep on the internet. You can try all of these and find which one works best for you. Chapter 4.1 Naps. Some people like taking naps and some people don't. This is very simple. If you enjoy taking naps and you don't feel tired or groggy after naps, then you can take naps. Just make sure they're not too close to your bedtime and make sure they're under 90 minutes long. Because if they're longer than 90 minutes, you'll start getting into deeper stages of sleep and it will just make you feel more tired when you wake up. And if you don't like taking naps, don't feel bad for not taking naps. I do have to say, if you feel overly tired in the afternoon, this might be a problem with your diet or some kind of problem with your sleep. I will be releasing a video on diet soon. So if you want to take naps, that's fine. Just make sure they're under 90 minutes long and they're not too close to your bedtime. And for people that find it hard to fall asleep in the middle of the day, there is alternatives to naps. Like NSDR. Andrew Huberman talks a lot about these, and it's basically a tape that you listen to and you follow the instructions and you do a full body scan and you relax your body. This can help you with lost sleep and it can make you feel more energetic after. I really like doing it when I'm tired in the afternoon, and I just look up NSDR on YouTube and I do 10 to 20 minutes. Chapter 4.2 Extras. After implementing all the above stuff, there's still more things you can do to help your sleep. One of my favorite ones is taping your mouth. You get a small piece of medical tape and you put it on your mouth in order for your mouth to stay closed during the night and only breathe through your nose. This is such a simple thing you can do to improve the quality of your life drastically. Breathing through your nose has been shown to be able to change your whole face structure for the better. And it's also very good for improving sleep, to stop snoring, and many other things. I'll leave a link in the description for the tape I use. This definitely takes maybe a week or two to get used to because it is a bit strange not being able to breathe through your mouth when you've been doing it your whole life. And don't worry if your nose stops working or something like that, because if you really need to, you can actually breathe through the medical tape. Playing white noise, rain noise, or a fan noise can also help sleep and help stay asleep. Using an eye mask and earplugs can help the quality of your sleep and staying asleep. I don't personally use them, but if you like using them, you can do that. Leaving your phone in a different room or far away from your bed can help a lot of people, and this will also avoid you picking up your phone first thing in the morning. And definitely don't fall asleep with your phone under your pillow or something like that. You definitely don't want all that radiation going into your brain. I will be doing a separate video on supplements, so if you want to see that, go into the link of the description or press up here or here. Thanks for watching my perfect sleep full guide. If you implement all of the tools I have given you in this video, you will 100% improve your sleep. If you are interested in a one-on-one coaching program for achieving perfect sleep with me, check out the first link in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.